Hey everyone. So sorry I've been, out of commission for the last few months. As it often does, life has gotten in the way. I have a few more videos coming soon. I've recorded Shutdown, which I know a lot of people were interested in. And I have to edit Finding Paradise, which I'm doing. That should come out in the next few days. But before all of that, this is a new thing me and my friends are doing. It's a podcast format of where we play a game on our backlog all together, and then we talk about it. It's like a podcast. The name is Dude, Have You Played? This time it's going to be Armikrog, and without further ado, I'll let the three of us from the past go ahead and start talking about it. I hope you enjoy it. I'm really excited for this.
So, Armikrog.
First, Evan was wanting to do a
I want to give a brief overview of what Armikrog is. Armikrog is the spiritual successor to the Neverhood, a DreamWorks game led by lead artist Doug TenNapel. He's a graphic artist, and he has a very specific style. I'm sure you could tell what that style is entirely by your playthrough of Armikrog. But Armikrog was a passion project by all of the developers from the Neverhood that wanted to make more Neverhood but couldn't because DreamWorks owned the IP. And the development of Armikrog is actually kind of a sad story because it was kickstarted and they asked for a really paltry sum. They asked for $900,000 to make this game. And over the course of 2 years, they made so much stuff. If you look at some of the concept art for Armikrog, they had so much ambition with this game. There are so many things you wanted to do. They wanted to have a system where you could look on the Wii U controller and see everything that's in your inventory. They wanted sort of like action events where you would have to quickly pick something from your inventory and use it to solve a puzzle that you're like in danger in. Where you're in danger. Mm-hmm. But due to limited budget, the Kickstarter, they asked for so little that over the course of 2 years, they had no time left. They had no money left. They had to rush whatever product they had left and just cut out a whole lot of sets that they had made out of clay. A lot of the stuff they had already animated, they had to throw it out the window because they needed to package it up and ship it so they could make money off of what was starting to become a failed game.
Yeah, and checking the Steam reviews on it, it is still sitting at mixed reviews. I didn't read any of the reviews, just not spoil it, but I assume, just judging by the first two I see, a lot of them are like, it had so much potential, but it seems like it was cut off.
Yeah, that was what I was looking at, and I'm also seeing a lot of people were comparing it to the Neverhood.
I mean, they had to.
If you
played the Neverhood, you could tell that this game is almost like one for one. They took so many beats that made the Neverhood as good as it was and tried to just fit it into this new formula with Tommy Knot and Beak Beak. Down to like map traversal, down to some of the feeling of the puzzles or the way that you would traverse the world, almost like pulled directly from it. The foreshadowing for a final puzzle in the beginning room, that's pulled out of the Neverhood. They wanted people to love Armikrog as much as they did, and they wanted to pay such honest homage to the original game, but they stretched themselves way too thin.
Yeah. And for anyone that ever will potentially listen to this, he did say it was $900,000, which is, as you say, a paltry sum in the video game culture, and they were on, I guess, would you count it as a AAA game?
No, I wouldn't count it AAA. It's I would say, like, I don't even know if you'd call it AA, honestly. It leans more towards indie, honestly.
It is indie. Yeah. It's Kickstarter funded.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm saying Neverhood.
Oh, Neverhood was AAA.
Oh,
Yeah,
was
so
it? Wow.
Neverhood was AAA, so a lot of people... Oh, go ahead.
It's a DreamWorks product.
Yeah, that's why I said it. I thought it would be a AAA, but 900,000 for an indie dev. Yeah, that is more than a lot of indie devs will ever need. But this was a AAA team. Like, they had gotten money from another studio to make the game, and then they were just kind of cast out. So go ahead.
For context, the Neverhood was made in 1996, and it had a budget of what they said was, almost, they said it was just about double the budget of Armikrog. But the difference is, I looked in an inflation calculator to calculate this and take a look. Armikrog had about $970,000. So if we assume that the Neverhood had a budget of close to like 1.9 million, the math translates to Armikrog in the year of 2015 having a budget of 1.2 million in now funds, and the Neverhood having a budget of $3 million.
Yeah.
On top of having the support of one of the biggest animation studios of all time.
Yeah.
Greetings, friend.
But let's not talk too much about like the making of it. Let's actually talk more about the gameplay itself.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do a lot of research.
Yeah, neither did I. I didn't look too much into the background of the game, but it is good to have that like background stuff. I actually want to start off with what I like started really liking as the game went on. The music was incredible.
Terry S. Taylor is an incredible artist. I love Terry S. Taylor so much.
Yeah, like I didn't really notice it at first, and after a while, I just kind of started sitting there like, yeah, I'm vibing with it. It's like it's very calming when you're going through and solving like all the puzzles and everything, and like it's very appropriate for when it goes through. And like near the end, when you're like you're going through, you can hear like babies crying, like kind of in the background of the music during the end. I'm like, oh, that's really cool, because that's topical for what's happening in the game right now.
Very, very true. I will say the music was phenomenal, but the amount that I had to hear the same music at the end was absurd. Because they artificially lengthened out the game by making you backtrack through the entirety of it. And I was just like, bro, what the hell are you doing? This is not fun. Because you're having to go back, find these weird tentacle creatures just to find out a certain word that you could, like, you would need to remember the words from the ending of the game just to backtrack. And if you forgot any of them, you would need to go back and do it. I had to go back twice because I was like, wait, what's the third word I need? And I hated it. I hated every instance of the end of the game. But it's probably due to the fact it was rushed, but god damn, it was bad.
Oh, but you could definitely tell that the ending of Armikrog was really rushed.
Yes.
Especially
Yeah,
when you compare
was...
it to the beginning of the game, the animated set pieces, the entire intro to the game. I think they wanted to do way more of that, and they just couldn't.
Yeah, that sucks, because I could definitely tell it was rushed. This is one of the games where you're like, okay, I need a notebook to write stuff down, otherwise I'm not gonna remember this.
Oh yeah.
But that was not like a bad thing for me. I love that. I love when you have to okay, you have to make your own notes. The game doesn't tell you. You have to actually remember it in your head. Remembering the stories and everything, and having to go back and get that lore. I actually like that because once everything's translated, once you get to that point where you can translate the language, I actually like listening about the lore and be like, oh, okay, I'm seeing what's going on here.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, learning about the story was great, but my problem is you have nothing else to do other than backtrack and find these weird creatures that tell you the story. I don't even know what they're fucking called. But that's my biggest problem, is the fact that there was nothing to do other than that. And I got lost 3 times trying to find them. That is including when I had to go back, find out the 3rd word, and then go back again. Which I didn't record any of my section of it, which that's my bad, but it was like awful. I didn't like any bit of it. Just the fact that it's just like you have nothing else to do other than to learn this story. I feel like if they would have had something change, like anything at all, I would have liked it a lot better, but it was just the same set pieces. It was the same music all the way through. You have to listen to the cart sound, which was honestly, it grated on my nerves after the hour 3 of me hearing it for almost the entirety of the game, because you were in that cart for probably 60 to 70% of the game.
I think, again, that is just a leftover from the Neverhood. There are a lot of things that I didn't like about the game, and there are a lot of things I did like about the game. Backtracking didn't bother me as much. I mean, it did kind of suck when it was like to the point where it was like, oh, I could translate the language now. Now I'm gonna go back and choose to listen through everything. I'm gonna ignore like the puzzle that was placed in front of me right away, because I do want to just go back and listen to everything. So my instance of backtracking, I only had to do it once, was entirely voluntary. And I only did it once, and I was able to, like, I didn't even see the final puzzle before realizing, oh, I recognize that symbol. That was the symbol for honor. Oh. If I remember correctly, it's this.
Yeah, what tripped me up about the final puzzle was like I didn't realize that you could like move that green lever to like lift the crystals up. I was like going around. I had to go back to the bottom room where like the diagram is, which I think it's really cool that at the beginning of the game it's like, hey, here's the solution for the final puzzle. This isn't going to be relevant for like the next 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm doing it right, but like, why are they not working? And then you could change the levels of like the crystals.
Yeah, that I was stuck on that one for a while because I genuinely didn't know what they wanted of me. And then in my brain I thought, oh, I need Beak to look at that. So I should have wrote it down at the start. And I was trying, I was racking my brain trying to remember what the hell it looked like.
That reminds me. Now, what were your thoughts on the the soothe P minigame that would pop up every once in a while, where you'd have to play the lullaby?
So the first 2 times I did it, I just brute forced it, because you could like, I'll do this. Does it work? No, it falls off. Okay, next one. Does it fall off? No. Okay, move on to the next one. The first 2 times I did that puzzle, I just brute forced it, and then the 3rd time I'm like, I'll submit. Sure, I'll try and do the puzzle the way you want me to do it. And
what was the actual way? You listen? Fuck that.
So yeah, no, I actually listened to that first one for like 15 minutes.
Oh god.
Yeah.
And
so
at one point, yeah, I was playing, like the background was playing and like the toys were playing at the same time. And so my ears were bleeding. And I was like, why isn't it working? It copied it exactly. All of them are correct. Why are they falling? It's because it goes around, and the first one of like your side that you're supposed to do is the ending to the other side's lullaby. And then you have to start, and then it starts again on the next one. So you have to move it all one over. After that, I think it took me like maybe 2 minutes for each of the other ones once they came up.
I could not be fucked to figure out the Soothe P video game, because I found out after you click the button, you can basically fast forward it.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know it played on its own originally.
Yeah, so I just did that, and I was like, all right, put this one here, spam the thing above it, and I was like, fuck, nope, doesn't work. Nope. Just like, fuck this goddamn baby.
So what you can do is like with that, what you just need to do is the first couple times it took so long because I let it play fully from beginning to end.
Oh my god.
No.
7 times.
Oh my god.
And then when I started the second one, I clicked mine. I'm like, oh, I can play it from mine. So once I kind of solved it, I just spam through. And then I figured out you can just hit the last one, and if it plays and is correct,
Yep.
there you go.
Yep. I found that out on my
figure
second
that out.
one.
I didn't figure that out till the third one.
So the first time I did that puzzle, I didn't realize there was a listening element, and so I was trying to sync it up with the background hanging things. I'll be like, okay, so if it's in this order, then I'll start from that end. How do I? Oh, there's a button here. Does that submit it? And then I hear music playing. I'm like, oh fuck! I just
God
wasted my. I just wasted so much time.
Oh god. Yeah, I brute forced that. Speaking of brute forcing, I need to ask: are there any other puzzles that you guys didn't find out the full solution to, but you're just like, fuck it, I'm not wanting to deal with the backtracking?
No, so the one that
I
I genuinely could not at any point figure out was like near the end where you have to like launch an egg into like
the robot?
Yeah, the robot.
The robot one fucking sucked.
And I was like, how the fuck are you supposed to like? There's a bunch of robots there. How the fuck are you supposed to realize it? I actually didn't realize it, and I just kept like going, like doing the okay. I will start with the head is the same. I'll change the entire body. Every single bit, so I'll have to go through every single option available, and I finally get it.
Yeah, that was another one I brute forced because I was like, what do you want me to do? You want me to like meticulously look at each one of these robots, and am I supposed to like find the middle between the two? Nah, fuck that shit. I'll find like two pieces, I'm doing the rest.
I spent 10 minutes on that puzzle because I was staring at it. I'm like, am I supposed to find out what's next in the sequence? What do you? Okay. So that one has a hole in there, but like, there's no. It's a circle, and then it's an open circle, but like I don't have any option for like anything that would go next for that sort of thing. What is the solution? What do you want me to do? Until I started just copying the ones on the wall.
Yeah, that puzzle honestly was
probably
the worst puzzle in the game.
Yeah, that was the worst one. I did not enjoy that one. I really liked the oh, did you guys like Abraham Lincoln?
Yes, all three of them.
Bully!
Okay, that was my next question. What was fucking Teddy doing? Was that the only purpose? Was him to say bully?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yep, that's it.
What?
So again, that's a leftover from the Neverhood, not the ants thing, but in the Neverhood there were a lot of things that you could interact with in the environment that would literally do nothing. It was just for flavor. There was a tree that you pluck a fruit from the tree, you eat the fruit, and then you burp. And the more fruit you eat, the longer you burp. And if you eat enough fruit, the game you're stuck in like a burp loop animation and sound for like 20 minutes.
Oh my god.
Neverhood was full of stuff like that. It's just like little flavor things that they would throw into the world that make it feel more whole and not just a series of individual puzzles. And that's one gripe I really had with Armikrog. Because I love claymation. Neverhood made me love claymation, and it's become like a huge part of my life. Huge, like, part of my passion is looking at claymation stuff. So the environments were great, but the problem with Armikrog is a lot of those were just set pieces after set pieces with no real connector.
Yeah, it just felt like a bunch of stuff thrown together, which I did a little bit of research. Did you guys get the full completion reward?
No.
Okay, so the full completion reward, which is completing every single puzzle in the game, which I think there's only like 2 extra puzzles or something like that. It's minuscule, but all you get is a hot rod of the whatever they are, like the zap zippers or something like that.
Oh, I got that.
Yeah, that's the reward for completing every puzzle.
I did not get that.
I did not get that.
No, you get it like halfway through the game. It's just a secret. I don't think it's a reward for anything.
That's fair.
Oh, okay. Well, I looked it up and I was like, is there something for this? And they said that it was, so I trusted it. So screw me for that.
I have to know. Did you guys find the area where you can find who backed the game?
The Germa room.
Oh
the
my
fucking
God,
Germa
yes.
jump scare. I was like, fucking Germa?
That was
So-
the first name that popped up for me. I'm like, what?
I was like, Germa? What?
That's what- I had to look it up. I'm like, that can't be the same Germa.
Yeah,
So I looked
it's
it up
the
and I'm
same
like,
Germa. It's he backed the game.
well, fun fact as well, this game was the first game he ever streamed.
I
Ever.
didn't know.
I didn't know that either. Wow, okay, we're getting lore.
Yeah, I looked it up and I was like, why the fuck is Germa in this game? And I got this little tidbit. Again, this is off the internet, so it could be false, but it just said, yeah, contrary to what a lot of people think, this was the first game Germa streamed. And I'm like, huh, that's unfortunate. I can see why he'd do it. He backed it, but like, it's unfortunate that it was an unfinished product.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild though. I was sitting there jamming, like it's really good music, but I was not prepared at all for the first game of this like podcast book club thing we're doing to have a Germa jump scare. I was not expecting that shit at all.
I was really hoping somebody would bring up the Germa room.
It was my next thing I was gonna bring up.
I was really hoping I would get to be the one to bring that up because I wanted to talk about it the last like 2 days.
Oh my
Like-
god.
It's close for me. I found it like close enough to the end of the game. I'm like, is this the credits? Like, what's going on
Until
here?
You saw Germa and you're like, what?
Yeah, you know,
yeah.
that was my exact reaction. I'm like, what? Germa? What?
Like, what are you doing here? I don't know if I'll ever recover from that. Like, just seeing
From
Germa's
Germa.
name in this.
Uh,
Like, what? So, on to the next thing I wanted to talk about, and we're jumping around like crazy.
That's fine. Go
They
for it.
didn't need to do my boy Beak like that.
They didn't. But now he's like a ghost inhabiting a robot. So I mean, that's cool.
I think the reason that they killed off Beak was they're like, oh, Ghost Beak, we're gonna make a sequel, or they teased a sequel. We're gonna use Ghost Beak to do some puzzles. There are gonna be some puzzles that you can only solve with Ghost Beak, and it's like, okay, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Speaking of puzzles
Go
with
ahead.
Beak,
Go ahead.
did anyone else feel like they were on LSD at all?
No.
When you went into any of the Beak sections, you just go into this pulsating monochrome world, and it was so off-putting. Like, is that meant to show that's how Beak sees the world?
Well, because Beak is blind.
I didn't know this.
He doesn't have eyes.
I thought that the things around his head were like, when you look at him from the side, I thought it was supposed to be like cartoonish style eyes. I saw him having eyes, but only from the side.
I guess I could see that.
Yeah, like on screen right now, show Beak from the side angle and highlight the two bands around it. It looks like eyes.
I mean, yeah, I can see it, but like the first time I was like, what the fuck is going on? And as time went on, I'm like, okay, whatever.
It's just Beak.
It's just Beak. You do you, man. Whatever.
Also, oh, go ahead.
Oh no. I was just gonna say, when you finally got that bug that lets you turn him into flying Beak, did anyone else not kind of understand how to activate that?
Yes. I was stuck in the first section trying to find what the fuck to do.
So, not with the bug necessarily, but I thought I had soft locked the game at the very first puzzle, because I'm like, what? How do I? There's clearly a hole in the wall there. What do you want me to do? You're not letting me click the hole in the wall. I can't go back the way I came. See if there's anything else to interact with. I try and climb over the thing, and I sort of half clip through the wall. Did I soft lock myself? And so that was a huge roadblock for me for the first 15 minutes of the game, or closer to 20 minutes. I'm like, what do I do? What am I stupid?
Dude, I had to make so many save files, and I named them after the last thing that happened, and one of them's oh, I gotta help the baby. The next save after I finished the puzzle, the put P to sleep puzzle. Fuck this baby.
Defeat the baby. But that actually leads into a very, very big critique I have of this game. So I haven't played the most point and click adventures. I'll be straight up. I probably haven't played them since I was 8 years old playing Pajama Sam. But the thing is that I feel is with a very good point and click is making it not super obvious to where it feels like it's treating you like a toddler, but signifying that you can click on stuff in some way. Because finding out you had to click on Beak Beak was a fucking challenge, because there was no indicator. There was nothing showing that he was an interactable part of the game, because you think that oh, it's a sidekick, he's gonna have little quips here and there, but he's mostly just gonna follow you around. And yeah, it's just figuring that out. Going to the puzzle with the final puzzle, another instance, the green thing just kind of melds into the whole altar, I'll call it, and you just don't know that you can click on it, and you're just what the fuck do I do? And that's the biggest flaw I had, is because there were so many things. I spent probably half my time playing this game with an auto clicker going in row after row on my screen. Just what the fuck can I interact with here?
So a lot of the initial people that bought the game, before there was an update that changed your cursor when there was something you could click on, that was a huge problem that people had, was just they didn't know what was interactable and what wasn't.
Oh, they did that.
That was an
God.
update?
Yeah.
I know some of the some of the things still didn't update. Some of the rooms that you could interact with, I genuinely almost missed part of the game. I couldn't advance because one part of the game I didn't realize one of in the second room where you get the second octopus thing, right?
Yeah.
Right. That room to the right, I didn't realize that was a room. And I was
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah.
But luckily I have played quite a few point and click adventure games in my life. I have played so many of the Riddle School series.
Oh, Riddle School. Ooh.
That I was on that shit, and then seeing people play it later on, I'm hell yeah, that was my childhood. I would play all the escape games on addictinggames.com.
Oh, same.
Escape the car, escape the train tracks, escape the bank, or what? Not the not the Among Us one, but the
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Escape
I
the
know
phone booth. I played all. Of those games.
I was about to bring up Escape the Phone Booth, because there was a rumor going on in my circle of friends that said if you do something if you click the phone, and you click the fountain 2 times, then all of a sudden the fountain's gonna fill with blood and there'll be an eyeball floating in it. And it freaked me out as a kid, but I opened up that game and I tried to replicate the thing and I couldn't do it.
Oh god.
I always liked seeing the timer come up. It's hey, you beat it in this time. Can you beat it next time? And I never could.
So looping back to the game, speaking of trying to find secrets, did any of you guys over and over, no matter how many instances of it having only one dialogue clip, every time you saw the father or the father statue, you clicked that shit multiple times?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, of course I did. I clicked bully ant 7 times in a row. You have different dialogue. I know you do. I know why you're here. I know who you represent.
I know what you are.
It's every item I got beyond that, I went back to Bully Ant, and I'm it's so different this time. Bully! And I'm like, fuck.
Oh, hi, it's you. Go away. Which is a reference to the Neverhood.
I figured.
Yeah, I figured that.
Which is also going in with repeating puzzles or things trying. The one thing for Abraham Lincoln, where it shows you like how many times to tap that puzzle. Did any of y'all try doing that puzzle like 7 times before realizing you could change the color?
Yes.
No, I figured out like pretty quickly, like within 2 clicks, that I could change the color.
Oh yeah, I didn't. I was like,
It showed me, Chris. I'm like, I'm doing it right. It's mine was 2, 3, 1. I'm doing 2, 3, 1. What am I missing? What am I missing?
I know that was me for a sec because I was like, oh, what's going on? And then when I changed color, oh, and then you had to find like what's the second ant's
My
name?
quill.
it was
Thomas Jefferson. Tom Ant Jefferson.
Yeah,
Jefferson.
Jefferson. That's
was
it.
what it.
Yeah,
Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, that was really funny to go because he was like, my quill. He would just pop it up. Like, yes, the colors. I need them.
Yeah, so that I know I'm segueing into so much, but this like I have one guilty confession. I looked up one part of the game because I genuinely could not figure out what to do.
It's fine. What part was it?
The part directly after giving the quill to Thomas Jefferson, because I was like, there's this symbol that he's giving me and there is nothing I can find, because the symbol that like the thing you need to click on the wall is right next to a button. So I'm like,
that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, I cannot find it. I tried clicking the button because I'm like, maybe that'll activate the wall, because I'm pretty sure, maybe I'm wrong, that that wall symbol was another one that just didn't show you could interact with it.
No, there was a thing that you could interact with it, but you had to very specifically hover over it and click on it. It was
okay.
It was a very vague puzzle that you wouldn't have known it was a puzzle unless you like inspected that room specifically.
Yeah, and so I was stuck there for a solid 20 minutes, no progress whatsoever, and so I looked it up, and I was like, man, I'm gonna be like the only guy to look this shit up, but I'm not gonna feel bad over this garbage ass puzzle. I still solved it on my own. I didn't go after the solution. I just wanted to see where the hell to go to next. Oh my god.
Yeah, I didn't really have trouble. Like the only puzzle that I really had trouble with was that was the robot one. Like, that was probably the one I spent the most time on, because I'm like, what actually the fuck am I supposed to do?
Yeah, the robot one was so unclear.
But like the puzzles to like get into the room, like when you go to a new area and you have to like move the bricks around.
Yes.
the
I liked
area.
those.
I loved those. Like I was going ham on them.
The last one I was confused.
The last one confused the hell out of me, and realized I gotta do it. Like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, it took
But-
me
You
a
gotta do it
second.
opposite.
And then I started looking. I'm like, oh, I see what I have to do. And then
There are unique ones.
yeah, it was taking me a while to get them, but like I had a lot of fun with them.
That's something that did bother me about Armikrog, is a lot of repeated puzzles. The soothing the baby puzzle happened like 3 times for no real reason.
So it can throw up the Petonium.
I get that, but I didn't want to do the same puzzle 3 times. I liked the first 2 times I did the puzzle, but went in the 3rd time and it changed. I enjoyed that it was different, but it's also like, do I really need to do this puzzle again? I've already done the puzzle. I've proved that I can do it. Adding one more layer of arbitration does not make the puzzle more difficult. It just makes it a little bit more tedious.
Plus, the baby crying the whole time pissed me off.
Yeah, that along with the music, I wanted to rip my ears out. It was horrible.
All of the all of the other puzzles aside from that, with the exception of like 2 or 3, were all like, here are 3 symbols and a dial pad, input the correct symbols.
Yeah.
And I wish there was a lot more puzzle variety in the game, because it really felt like there were like 6 puzzles and 3 of them appeared multiple times but in slightly different arrangements.
Yeah, it wasn't very big variety, and it was very repeating. I did like the hamster wheel one, because at first I'm like, wait, what am I supposed to do?
That one was cool.
And then once I
that one.
looked at the puzzle, I'm like, oh, you just have to hit it in order. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, did any of you figure out, because if you talk to the other guy enough, he says this, but you may not have realized, but like, if you click further away from where you are on the screen, you'll go faster.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, like
It's only in certain areas. It's only in very specific areas.
yeah,
like
like in the area that's really zoomed out, like you're super tiny on the map.
yes.
If you click on the other end where you're supposed to go, you zoom.
Yes.
But that is a big gripe I have about the game, because whenever you came across a crossroads, that shit stopped on you on a dime, killed all your
and then
momentum.
And then it would start bouncing, and it wouldn't stop bouncing until you clicked into the circle that like it's trying to go into.
Oh yeah, every time the cart like hit a snag or hit a turn, it would full stop.
Yeah.
You need to click again, and it would hit a full stop. And you click again, and it would hit a full stop.
It wasn't like, it was terrible, like, okay, fine, whatever. When it started getting to like the later game, when there was like 5 of them in a row, I wanted to die.
Speaking of the 5 in a row, did that type of puzzle is, honest to God, one of my least favorite types of puzzle ever. It's where you have to go off screen to input something for a puzzle just to have to go back 2 screens to check. And it's the one where you're in the zip cart and you have to like go up and go to one of the 2 and just to rotate on the screen that's not the next screen over, it's 2 over. And I was like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, I agree.
Entire bullshit.
I agreed that was stupid. However, I accidentally solved that puzzle without like even looking at it, because I hit it once and then I went up again, hit the other one, and then when I down, I'm like, oh, I know which one is turning, and then I did it again. Like, I solved it pretty fast.
See, I would have, but I went up, hit both of them once, and then one of them was lined up. I'm like, oh, it's the other one that's lined up. And so I was like, I don't know which one controls what, because I went to both of them to see if there was something on that screen. So I hit one of them, I go back, and it was the one I had right. So I had to go back and hit. I'm like, I don't know how many until it's a full rotation. So I went back, hit each of them once, went back. Okay, went back, hit each of them once, went back, stopped. One was good, went back, did it 2 more times. And I'm like, this is the worst design puzzle. I hate it.
There was a little bug when I was doing it myself where I would go hit the one in the spiral, and then I went to hit it, but because I was in the fast cart, and the hot rod is slightly faster, I would hit it, and it would go too fast, go past the line, then ricochet back, and it would hit an additional time.
Oh.
So I had to be really careful every time that I tried to hit those buttons with the special cart.
Oh my
That
god,
sucks.
dude.
I actually ran into like a few glitches every once in a while when I was playing.
Same.
Like one time, like in the main room when you first get in on the cart, when you solve the puzzle to like go on the upper field. After a while, I was trying to get up there because I had to like go back, and I was trying to get to the other side. And so what I did is I clicked the upper rail as I'm going forward, and as soon as it made contact with like the spiral, I ricocheted up to the upper track and immediately went out the other end.
What?
And I was like, okay, I guess I just saved like 5 seconds.
Huh. Yeah, Oh, good.
I was like, oh, did I discover an exploit? I wasn't able to like replicate it anymore, but that sucked because that would have saved me so much time.
Dude, I think what you're describing happened to me too, and my first thought was, oh my god, speedrun tech.
I'm glad y'all experienced speedrun tech. I soft locked the game. Legitimately, I somehow soft locked this game.
Oh?
Because I think it was on like the third cart section where you have to send Beak to go grab. Oh, it's the one right before the final door, like you where you have to make the portrait of whatever the villain's name was. It's that not memorable for me.
Oh.
But you know what I'm talking about. The one where there's like a tunnel for Beak.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes in there and you get an item from there along with, I think, turning on the translator. I came back and as he's spitting up the item, I have our guy hit the lever to suck him back up into the cart. But the problem, it's supposed to suck up Beak. Beak was in the middle of throwing up the item.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So he throws up the item and just stands there. And I'm like, uh-oh. This is not good.
And this is like you didn't know that there was a save system at this point.
This is where I found it out. I'm like, there's got to be a save function. It's got to be here somewhere. So I'm like, resume game. I don't want to click main menu because that's scary. Oh, there's an autosave. I'm gonna save here and do the autosave. The autosave was when I came in, so I'm like, okay. Whoo!
Yeah.
We're crisis avoided.
Yeah, it was a weird choice to put save in the options menu.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It
It was
was
a very
interesting
strange idea.
Also, very strange idea to have subtitles not on a point and click adventure by default.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a point and click adventure. Like, we're not inputting stuff rapidly. You could put the subtitles.
So, all this being said, I kind of want to start wrapping it up a little bit. What
Same.
was your final thoughts on Armikrog? All things set aside, all grievances set aside, or, put into full focus. What did you think of Armikrog?
Barn, I'll let you go first.
Okay. I would say like putting everything together, I would give it a loose 6 out of 10 for like overall. Music 10 out of 10. I loved the music, like full stop. I loved it. So 6 out of 10 overall though.
All right. I'll go next, Evan. Since this was your game, I want you to have the ultimate say at the very end. Not ultimate. I was thinking penultimate, but not the right word. Anyways, to go on a slightly different rating scale, I'll give it C+ tier. It's not bad. It's not good. There are good elements. There are plenty of bad elements, but for the experience not playing Neverhood, I feel like it's okay. So I'd give it a C+, and can't wait to see what your rating is, and hopefully it's different.
I love the Neverhood, obviously, and I think this game did a lot of things well. I love the art direction, obviously, and Doug to Naples' character designs are always going to be iconic. The puzzles, I think, could have used a lot of work, and the entire game was kind of put together through, like, with shoestring and gum. But overall, I did enjoy my time with Armikrog, and I'm probably going to give it like a 13 out of 21.
Okay.
All right.
So overall, we give it like kind of middle of the road.
A little bit higher.
It's like we have warm feelings outside of it, but I probably wouldn't recommend it.
Okay. Okay.
I would recommend the Neverhood.
Me personally, I'm always one that's like, if you are a fan of this niche genre, give it a try. It's not so bad that you're going to regret putting time into it. It's 4 hours at most.
Yeah, it's a fun game to play. I definitely would recommend playing it at least once because it's goofy, it's funny. I enjoyed it. the ending credits though, like the ending part was hilarious because they really just had a fucking clay figure on a string flying it through like a background.
God.
And
That was
I was
hilarious.
dying, dude.
That killed me. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
feel like
so funny.
that I feel like that was just another symptom of the game being a little rushed. But it's fun.
It has its own. It has quality, man. It's really funny. But I do have a question for you guys, though, since this is like the end of the podcast show thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did we want to roll for the next game here or off?
I think we should roll for it here.
Okay.
Okay.
I will share my screen with you guys then.
Why are we rolling?
Oh, right. We already decided what the next game is going to
Right. Sorry.
I'll
sorry.
explain this because this is
Yeah,
a slight
yeah.
against me.
Go ahead.
So, a premise for everyone here, if you've listened at all through all this, thank you. We each presented 3 games. Did you guys follow the same theory as you did with me, or did you guys just choose? I don't remember.
I just chose 3 like very different games.
I just chose 3 games that I haven't played yet and that I wanted to try.
Yeah, and we were just said pick 3 games that we want to talk about, preferably games you haven't played, but I had a different theory we'll go over later. But one of my games was Signalis because I saw it come out a couple years ago, and I've wanted to play it. It looks cool. I love pixel art. It's one of my biggest passions in games is finding good pixel art. And both of these guys rolled a wheel off record. We were just like testing it out, and both of them landed on Signalis. And I was like, okay, I guess it's sold. We'll just play that. And they're like, nah, we should actually roll so that all of us can see it. And I'm like, I'm just mad at this point because I'm like, this is fate. We're going to land on something like Armikrog. I said this out loud.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. And I was saying,
And
like,
lo and behold.
and we were even talking about, like, yeah, like, Armikrog looks interesting. Okay. And I landed on fucking Armikrog.
I was just like, you know what? I'm mad. And they're like, oh, we'll just do it next. And I'm like, no, we'll...
In my defense, my wheel spin was when I had like 5 games on the wheel.
There's no defense.
Yeah, and my like again, mine was like because I accidentally clicked. I was like a pixel off from like the side when like you're supposed to click like where the games are, because if you click anywhere on the screen where the wheel is, it rolls or it spins. So like it was purely an accident. I'm like, well, all right, cool, all right.
But next game is Signalis. It's gonna be wildly different than this game. So
I'm willing to bet.
Yeah,
tune in next time whenever Barn uploads this. I don't know, so I can't give you a date. Have fun.
Yep,
I've
our
been
timeline
Evan.
is a month. Thank you so much for watching. As we said, the next episode is going to be about Signalis. That is already recorded, and we're going to have that uploaded here soon. Probably in the next 2 weeks, just so we can space it out. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that, and I will see you all next time. Bye.